What kind of confidence, the way you guys closed out the game against Fort Hays, what kind of confidence offensively does that give you guys?
It gives us a lot of confidence knowing what we can do. I think we put up like 21 points in the fourth quarter. That can be pretty dangerous if we can do that consistently, putting up quite a few points each quarter and then mounting it for a whole game. That'll be pretty good.
How close do you feel like you guys are to being consistent?
I would say last week was probably our most consistent game. The points didn't show in the first half, but in the second half we were really hitting on everything.
You know, your fellow seniors, Tyler and Jordan, obviously with JB kind of ailing, he had to sit out there for a little bit. But to see those two guys make the kind of plays they did, how much more did that encourage you and motivate you and push it forward there at the end of the game when they were going up in traffic and being able to do what they did?
All right, I always have confidence in those guys, and they always make big plays, and they make my job so much easier. Having those guys out there, my confidence is always like through the roof. So it helps to have playmakers like that and guys who are seniors who have been with for a while.
And just to kind of watch your defense work there in that final minute, what do you feel like that could do for you guys moving forward when they had the opportunity to dig in and they were able to do that?
It gives us a lot of confidence, and especially with the turnovers they had. That was big last week, and that was a main part for us winning the game was the turnovers. And I said something this week to the team. I was like, hey, I love those close games, but it's a lot better when we don't have to have those close games. So.
You've had a lot of close games with Central Missouri over the last couple of years. You've looked at them on tape, studied them. What are maybe the top two keys to getting a win on Saturday?
Not turning the ball over, just being consistent with that, and then just everybody knowing what their responsibility is and executing each play as if it were like fourth down, because you never know. It'll always be a close game. It always has been, and it's just something to look forward to.
Oh. Jace, you guys are coming off a win over Fort Hays State. The way you guys closed out that game, how big of a confidence boost was that for you guys?
It was huge. I mean, like I've talked about before, last week we had kind of a big meeting and we just kind of talked about some things we need to change starting in practice and the way we went about things. And I think it kind of showed at the end of that game with the resiliency we showed both sides of the ball, and we kind of pushed through it. And, I mean, it doesn't just happen on Saturdays. It's kind of a thing that we've been talking about, like it happens on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays. I mean, it just kind of happens during the week, not just show up on Saturday. So.
Facing Central Missouri, very talented offense. What's it going to take to contain them? I know shutting them down completely is going to be a big challenge, but what do you feel like it's going to take from you guys to get this win?
Really just kind of, I mean, if we do what we do, we think we're good enough to get the win. I mean, they're very, very talented. I mean, they have some great receivers. They have a great running back. Their quarterback, I think is he a freshman? He's been playing really well. I mean, but I mean, if we do our jobs and we think if we talk to each other, we communicate, and we just stay on what we're supposed to do, I think we're confident in each other. So,
to watch your guys' offense do what it did there in the late in the third and into the fourth quarter last week, how much did that help encourage you guys? You guys were finally getting able to string some stops together, and then they were able to tack on some points and make it a ball game again.
And that's how football's supposed to feel. I mean, it felt really good just being able to get a stop, go sit on the sideline, and then watch Braxton and the offense go to work, and then put up some points, and then we would go back out and get some turnovers. I mean, that was football. That was awesome.
You mentioned turnovers, 4 for you guys last week. That's something you guys have been keying in on ideally all year. But how encouraging was that to see that finally pay off in that stat last week?
That's huge for our defense as a whole. Every day, if we don't get turnovers in practice, we have punishment for it. So I mean, finally, all of that work to try and get those turnovers every day. We have tackle takeaway period where we work on strips and interceptions and stuff like that. And just seeing all that finally just pay off, come in one setting and help us get a win felt really good.
What's getting a national award like that? What's that mean for your defense? I mean, you guys have been maligned a little bit throughout the year, but now coming through on the defensive side and getting that type of award.
I mean, it's not a credit to me. I mean, it's a credit to Coach Nard. It's a credit to my defensive line. I mean, I think even Fort Hays coach said it last week. Everything we do on defense is to free me up. No one is really touching me. It's really easy for me to go make plays and have fun when the D-line's taking double teams. So, I mean, for our whole defense, it was awesome. I mean, Logan and Gary and all those guys are boxing plays back to me so I can make them. So, I mean, it's my award, but it's the team's award, so it's really cool.
Well, Coach, you guys have Central Missouri coming up on Saturday. Central Missouri, offensively, one of the top teams in the conference. What do you feel like it's going to take for your defense to contain them?
Well, I mean, we got to get out the field on third down. I mean, the thing about it is they're doing a great job offensively, and they don't even have their starting quarterback, who unfortunately got hurt the first game. I know that's tough, but their backup to me is getting better every week. Their starter now, and they do a lot of different things offensively. They're going to keep you on your heels. You know, our guys are going to have to be able to adjust and at the same time play fast, and we're going to have to keep those receivers in front of us because it'll be the most talented group of receivers that we faced all year.
You know, what difficulty has the Hunt kid? What have you kind of noticed about him as far as, what has he kind of improved the most on in the last few weeks, I guess?
Well, I mean, it's the thing that I look at, it's kind of like a guy that gets hot in a basketball game to where once he gets kind of going and has confidence, as each week has progressed, he's continued to get better, and he's going to put the ball where it needs to be.
How much did the way this team played last week, how much did that encourage you as far as heading into this, and how have you seen that carry over into this week's in regards to practice and just attitude in general?
Well, like I always say about that, I mean, I think our attitude generally is the same each and every week. I don't think that really changes. I mean, I'm not going to say we've had the best week of practice because I've been through that before where we've had a great week of practice and you go out and you don't play very well. So, but I would think, again, trying to figure out the minds of 18 to 22-year-olds is difficult at times, but I would think after coming off that win that we had last week that, yeah, you would want that to carry over and be locked in and be focused and ready to go on the road and play a very, very good Central Missouri team.
Offensively, what's the next step you'd like to see your offense take?
Well, I think we're close, honestly, to getting there. I think, if I go back to the beginning of the year to now, I think the consistency part has been, I think our guys up front have been really consistent. I think, of course, Landon Nault has done a great job all year. I think that, we were missing things with, receivers and Braxton and the receivers. I think that being able to see what we did last week is kind of who we are and what we've been offensively. And for us to score 28 points the second half against Fort Hays, who to me has, if not one of the best defenses in the MIAA, they're very good. They're not going to beat themselves. For us to score those 28 points and then to not have one of your best players out there in Justin Brown is impressive. But again, that's the thing about it is we got to get that consistency. So hopefully we get that Saturday.
I mean, you want your seniors to step forward, and obviously Justin wasn't able to carry the load he was, but to see guys like Jordan and Tyler both take hold of the plays, make plays, get the receiving core back on the right track. How encouraging was that for this juncture when that's a unit that's been struggling?
Right. Yeah, I think like Tyler and Jordan Reed to me have been playing solid all year. I mean, as far as catching the balls that they're supposed to catch. But when I talk about great plays, it's the 50-50 balls. Those that are, making the catches that, it could go the other way, or they're heavily defended. And that's the thing that I was really impressed with. Number one, I mean, Tyler, I think, is probably our best route runner as far as like how he sticks his toe in the ground and how he pushes vertical when he needs to. And Jordan he's a veteran, so he's been in games like that. And to see him play the way that he played, especially coming off, he had a concussion 2 weeks earlier and he didn't play the previous week. So he was a physical football player on Saturday, which is good to see. I mean, because I said this to somebody else. I mean, he probably weighs 165 pounds if you took him out there in his pads with his cleats on, So he is very physical. So to see that group, because the consistency hasn't been there, but it was on Saturday, and that's got to continue on throughout the season.